Oh, well, you're back for more punishment, are you? I see. Well, this week we're going to have a look at, in fact, the next two blogs, we're going to have a look at some really important rock techniques. You really can't kind of go anywhere in rock without hearing these two techniques. The first one we're going to look at today is something called alternate picking. That's where you're picking down and up every note. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little exercise for alternate picking to work on that. And the second one is my favourite, which is legato. And legato means smooth playing. In other words, a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs. So we'll take a look at both of those techniques, and I'll give you some exercises to work on. Now, unfortunately, both of these techniques take some work. They're not something that you're going to get in a week, you know. It may even take months or even years to get it up to something that you want, but just stick with it. The best advice I can give you with this is keep inspired. Make sure you listen to the players who really inspire you, who use this technique. And I'm going to mention this as we go through these videos. But if you like alternate picking, there's lots of great guys. One who really springs to mind in the rock field is Yngwie Malmsteen. If you've not heard of him, check him out. Really fantastic stuff. For legato, I would say Joe Satriani for legato, so listen out to both those guys. You'll find that most people kind of use one or the other. You know, Joe Satriani, he rarely alternate picks, he uses mainly legato. And Yngwie Malmsteen uses mainly alternate picking, although he can use both. Steve Vai, of course, who's very famous, he uses a bit of both as well. So anyway, let's have a look at this first alternate picking. Right, so here's this alternate picking thing. I'll play it through for you. Okay, so there it was. That sounded a bit crazy, didn't it? Let me explain what I'm doing here with the notes. It's basically 10 on the B to 9 on the high E, 10 on the high E, and 12 on the high E. So you're doing this. Okay, so if you can see this hand, my right hand, I'm going down and up stroke. So alternate picking, I'm going down, up, down, up. So hope you can see that. I've just exaggerated that hand on the right hand. Now, with alternate picking, what you don't want to do is you don't want to kind of move your arm a lot about, because I did that for many years, and I had to change doing that because you find your arm gets really tired. It's really tiny movements. If I just stay on this one. Hope you can see there that my arm isn't really moving. It's just my finger there. Anyway, so let me show you the rest of the lick. So that's the first one. 10 on the B, 9 on the high E, 10 on the high E to 12. Okay, then you're going back down. 10, 9, and that's where it starts again, to 10. Then you move up, but this time the shape changes. So 12 on the B, 10 on the high E, and then you go to 12 on the high E to 14. That's a bit of a big stretch, actually. 14 on the high E, and then it goes back. So once you're on 14, go to 12 on the high E, back to 10 on the high E. So you've got this. All these, by the way, are twice. Okay, so far. Then move up 2 frets, do the same shape. That's 14 on the B, 12 on the high E, okay, 14 on the E and 16 this time on the high E, and go back down 16, 14, 12, so do that twice. Okay, now we're moving up to the 15th fret, and it's going to be the same shape we started with. So just not such a big stretch this time. 15 on the B, 14 on the high E, 15 on the high E, 17 on the high E, and back down again to, you know, 15, 14 and 15 again on the B. Move that same shape up 2 frets, do the same thing. So now it's 17, 16 on the high E, 17 on the high E to 19 on the high E. And the last note I finish on is 17, okay, on the high E, because that's the A note, okay. So all together it goes like this. I'll play it slow, okay. So what you'll find is, with this technique, when you play it slow, you'll be kind of using a wider kind of movement. But as you speed it up, you find that your pick goes a bit smaller. I was watching a video on YouTube the other day, and a chap recommended that you angle the pick, kind of angle it, so don't keep it straight, you know, like that, in other words, keep it angled. That does kind of seem to work. I guess I've got used to keeping it flat though. So if you want, you can stay on that one. This is a good warm-up exercise. If you want, you can move back between these two. And so on, so you can go back and forth. That's a cool one. Or if you want to, you know, of course you can you can move up the whole thing. All right, so hope you had some fun with that. Now, this exercise is pretty tricky because you're going in between strings, you know. You've got that sound. Now, don't do this. Can you hear the difference between this? And you want to make sure you take your fingers off, because otherwise you'll get, you know, it sounds terrible. You want to keep it clean. And don't, remember not to do this. Don't do that. I did that for many years, and I found that, you know, because I did it for so long, it took me years to actually correct it and put it into something that worked. And even now, you know, kind of, how many years is it? 6 years later, I still have problems with it. So do it right. Do it with your kind of, your wrist here first. So have some fun with that. That's alternate picking. Let's move on now to some legato.